is about the scope.
How was it determined?
Beg your pardon?
How are these areas of interest?
By Parliament. So when the legislation providing for the referendum on MMP was enacted, at the same time Parliament enacted the provision for the review, that there would be a review and what the review would cover.
Is there anything that's not on here that you think there should be?
No, but I'm very, very interested to hear what New Zealanders think. And I mean, very much looking forward to the submissions to see if there is something which is I'd be surprised if there isn't.
So the review is binding on the government, or
no?
elections over?
At the end of the process, and I'll talk about the process in a moment, but the end of the process is that the Commission must report to the Minister of Justice by the 31st of October, and the Minister is bound to table that report in Parliament.
And multi-representation isn't being considered, I know. Are you spelling that out for the public?
Yes. Yes. What's covered by the review and what isn't covered?
Are you expecting any submissions? Are you expecting a lot of interest in this?
Well, we know that New Zealanders are interested in the review and interested in how MMP can be improved. How much of that interest translates into people putting pen to paper or going onto our website and doing a submission online remains to be seen. For the Royal Commission in 1986, there were 800 submissions, for example, and when the Select Committee in 2001 undertook a review of MMP, I think it was something like 270 submissions. Yeah.
So the New Zealanders are interested, so what are you basing that on, and have you had many people contact you?
Well, there was a survey done before the last election which showed that 78% of New Zealanders were interested or somewhat interested in the review.
Have people been contacting the Commission about that?
In terms of when can we make our submission? No.
And are you confident there's enough time for this whole process to be gone through? It's a little over 6 months for the submissions, but the whole thing, it doesn't seem that long.
Well, perhaps if I take you through the process and so you can see it in its entirety. So here we go. So we're launching it today. I'll remind you that we announced the overall process and outline on the 12th of December once the result of the referendum was confirmed. But basically it's a two-stage process. So the first stage is really an open-ended phase where we are putting the questions, the issues out to the public and asking for their views. Now submissions close on the 31st of May. But what we will be doing is going out and hearing from people who want to be heard in April and May. So for people who want to make a submission and want to present on that submission, we're asking that they get their submissions to us by the 5th of April. Now, once we've received the submissions, we've heard them, we've considered them, we will then obviously take all those matters into account, and our intention is to come up with a proposals paper which we would release in August, and that would be open for further comment. One of the other things we're also intending to do, to the extent feasible, depending upon the nature of the particular proposals, is to do some research, some market research, to see what people think about what we're proposing, so that when the report is presented to the Minister and to Parliament, it will say not only what the Commission is recommending, but to the extent possible, what New Zealanders think about it, what level of support there is for those proposals.
Will there be any hearings, like a select committee does, with individuals coming to
absolutely. So
present to you? And will
yes,
they be open to the meeting?
Yes, they will. Yeah. And at this point, it's difficult to say where and when they will be. Well, we can't, because until we know the demand and the location of those people who want to be heard, we can't determine that. But I'm sure that there will be hearings and they will be open to the public.
Will they be around the country?
Well, as I said, it will depend upon the level of demand, where people who want to be heard are. I would expect that there will certainly be hearings in Auckland, Wellington and Christchurch, for example. The question will be whether there is a need for hearings beyond that. The Commission is absolutely determined to give New Zealanders every opportunity to let us know what they think. And so we will be doing what is necessary to make that happen.
How much is this whole process going to cost?
At the moment, we've allowed $1.6 million.
And what does that cover?
Well, it covers a advertising campaign to let New Zealanders know that it's happening, and that campaign is a modest campaign, primarily print. So there's some advertising happening. This Thursday, there's in every paper there's information about the review, a lift out for people to keep to one side, setting out the key information about the review. And there'll be some further print advertising, there'll be online advertising. And we also have some radio partners that we will be working with to get the message out to people.
What's the online component?
The online component really is designed to draw attention to those people who engage with the internet to our website, the fact that the review is on, the fact that they can have their say online, that they can go to our website, they can do their submission directly on the website. If one important thing for people to understand is if you want to comment on this, you don't have to comment on every issue if you're not interested, or you don't have a view on every issue. If there's just one thing that really has your interest and you want to have a say about it, you can just do a submission on that. And we have what we're calling a 5-minute submission facility on the website. So if there's just one thing you want to have a say about, you can go on and do that, and it's very quick and very simple. If you're the type of person who wants to really come up with a 30-page, very detailed, very considered submission, you can upload that onto our website and submit it in that way. You can email it to us. And if you don't have the internet or you don't want to do it online, this document is available for you. You can get this by calling our 0800 number, or it will be available in the community in the sorts of places where you'd expect this sort of document to be. Libraries, citizens' advice bureaus, electorate offices, registrars of electors' offices.
Can I just go back to the cost? You
Sure.
mentioned advertising. What else does it
Well,
cover?
just the cost of getting around the country and talking to people. I mean, the major cost, frankly, is just the costs of advertising. I mean, it's, as you know, it's not cheap.
So that's predominantly what the budget's for.
Can you say at the moment that you've allowed for the 1.6 million,
Mm.
is there going to be room for that to move? Do you expect it to blow out?
Well, I'm not expecting it to blow out, but one of the unknowns is what level of demand there will be for public meetings. And as I say, if the Commission needs to go to provincial centres to hear from people, if there's sufficient demand to warrant that, then that's what we'll do.
Will the Commission be doing its consideration just by itself, or will it be drawing on outside experts?
The Commission, again, has been very fortunate to have assistance from Nigel Roberts and from Therese Arsenault, and we'll have that expertise available throughout the review process. We will also be engaging with other political scientists, with political parties, and other interested people, making sure that they have the opportunity to give us their views.
And will you be strictly following the submissions and the market research, or will you be allowing yourself the freedom to make recommendations that don't necessarily go?
Well, the recommendations need to be the Commission's, but the Commission obviously needs to take account of the views that are expressed to it. And you need to remember that, as in most issues, there will be people that will be advocating one thing and other people will be advocating something completely opposite. And the Commission's job will be to give its considered view and provide that to Parliament.
How many extra staff have been employed to undertake this?
We have engaged a fixed-term person to assist with the administration of the process.
And are the people that you're consulting with, such as Teresa Arsenault, are they being paid as well?
Yes, they are.
When you make your recommendations, are you likely also to recommend process? For instance, should these issues go to a referendum or just be dealt with by parliamentary act?
I think we'll need to wait and see what the issues look like, what the proposals look like.
But it is possible.
It's possible.
And would you invite submitters to comment on that point?
Well, that's certainly something that we'll consider. It's a good point. So, that's the process in general. I've talked already about the ways in which people can have their say. And I suppose just the one thing to emphasise is that there are channels which we have put in place to make it as easy as possible for people to have their say. So there's the website, there's this consultation paper, but people don't have to use those channels if they just want to write us a letter, a postcard, send us in a piece of art if they think that will convey it to us adequately, then they can do that. I mean, the important thing is that they tell us what they think. Now, in terms of how we're letting people know, we're launching today, and advertising's going to be available in print over the next couple of weeks, and we'll be advertising throughout the consultation period online. And we are also obviously communicating directly with a whole lot of people that we think are likely to be interested in having a say, academics and the like. In terms of resources that are available, I think we've talked about all the things that the website, the consultation paper. We're also providing information in a number of languages to people who that will assist, and getting that out to the ethnic groups that support, or the community groups that support those particular groups. In terms of support for you, because doubtless as you're working through this, you'll have questions about what things mean or what the implications of something might be. Stacey is your first port of call. Sorry, I should have introduced Stacey to you at the outset too, although I'm sure she's well known to all of you. So Stacey Turnbull is the Manager of Communications and Education at the Commission, and Louise Vickerman is the I've known Louise for a very long time, long enough to know that she used to be Louise Sparrow. Louise Vickerman has joined us to help put all this material together and to manage the process throughout this year. So Stacey would be your first port of call if you've got questions, but also Nigel and Therese. I think many of you would have got used to calling Nigel or Therese up during the referendum education campaign, and you know that they are absolutely expert, and also they don't have any access to grade. You'll get objective, impartial information from them. So, and then you can go from get more interesting, unobjective, and views from others. So those are the resources which additional resources that are available for you to help you with reporting on this. So that was really as I said, it's pretty, in terms of content, it's pretty brief this morning because the main thing is to understand that the review is on, what it's covering, and that the Commission is looking forward to hearing from as many New Zealanders who want to have a say as possible. Any questions?
Your recommendations for change, is it your expectation that they could be put in place for the next general election?
Yes, that's really the idea behind the timetable, that if we are recommending by the 31st of October, the convention which New Zealand has adopted is that for any legislation affecting an election, that it should be in place by the end of the second year of the cycle. And having our advice with Parliament by the 31st of October should enable enough time for recommendations which find favour to be enacted in time for the 2014 election.
Do you think when you recommend, will you be doing it in draft bill form or just
I think it would
is that too early to?
I think it's unlikely because there's an agency in government that is far more skilled at drafting than any of the members of the Commission. One thing I would say is that the board of the Commission, Mr. Hugh Williams, QC, the chair, and the deputy chair, Jane Courier, will be fully participating in the review and in the hearings. And so we see this very much as a collective responsibility of the board.
Just one question going back to the referendum. Have you had returns yet? Expense returns for the referendum?
No.
That's
Due
due soon.
in March. Thank you very